Nick Vogt here, ladies and gentlemen. We have college, NFL, sports to give you. Let's do this.
Here are the results from the NFL for Week 1. The Bears were beaten by the Vikings yesterday. The final score was 27-24. The Browns were beaten by the Bengals last Sunday. The final score was 17-16. The Colts outdid the Dolphins by a score of 33-8 last Sunday. The Commanders outdid the Giants by a score of 21-6 last Sunday. The Falcons were defeated by the Buccaneers last Sunday. The final score was 23-20. Do you want to hear the next 5 games?
Yes.
The Jaguars overcame the Panthers by a score of 26-10 last Sunday. The Jets were beaten by the Steelers last Sunday. The final score was 34-32. The Patriots were defeated by the Raiders last Sunday. The final score was 20-13. The Saints lost to the Cardinals last Sunday. The final score was 20-13. The Broncos overcame the Titans by a score of 20-12 last Sunday. Want the next 5 games?
Yes.
The Seahawks lost to the 49ers last Sunday. The final score was 17-13. The Packers defeated the Lions by a score of 27-13 last Sunday. The Rams overcame the Texans by a score of 14-9 last Sunday. The Bills defeated the Ravens by a score of 41-40 last Sunday. The Chargers bested the Chiefs by a score of 27-21 last Friday. And the Eagles bested the Cowboys by a score of 24-20 last Thursday.
Hey Siri, college football scores?
Here are the results from college football for Week 2. Duke was defeated by Illinois. The final score was 45-19. Iowa State overcame Iowa by a score of 16-13. Minnesota defeated Northwestern State by a score of 66-0. Indiana defeated Kansas State by a score of 56-9. Texas beat San Jose State by a score of 38-7. Do you want to hear the next 5 games?
Yes.
SMU lost a double overtime game to Baylor. The final score was 48-45. Penn State beat Florida International by a score of 34-0. Syracuse snuck past Connecticut in overtime. The final score was 27-20. Pittsburgh bested Central Michigan by a score of 45-17. Texas Tech bested Kent State by a score of 62-14. Want the next 5 games?
Yes.
Florida State overcame East Texas A&M by a score of 77-3. NC State bested Virginia by a score of 35-31. Texas A&M bested Utah State by a score of 44-22. Wake Forest beat Western Carolina by a score of 42-10. Georgia overcame Austin Peay by a score of 28-6. Want the next 5 games?
Yes.
Cincinnati outdid Bowling Green by a score of 34-20. Oregon State was defeated by Fresno State. The final score was 36-27. Ohio State defeated Grambling State by a score of 70-0. Colorado overcame Delaware by a score of 31-7. Oregon outdid Oklahoma State by a score of 69-3. Do you want to hear the last 5 games?
Yes.
Rutgers outdid Miami of Ohio by a score of 45-17. Clemson beat Troy by a score of 27-16. Missouri bested Kansas by a score of 42-31. Tennessee beat Etsu by a score of 72-17. And Kentucky was defeated by Ole Miss. The final score was 30-23.
And Nebraska beat Akron.
3:51 p.m.
68. Nothing. Ouch. 68-0. Akron was destroyed by Nebraska. Good job by the Huskers. What a good game, by the way. I watched that game, and it was great. By the way, for every Husker game, if you have an Alexa device, a smart speaker, tell her to play KTIC 840 AM. You just say play 840 KTIC, and it will play the station, and it will play the Husker Radio Network. More games to come, so everybody, you all sit back and relax. We'll have updates for you right here. Remember to like, subscribe, keep comments appropriate and respectful. That's our college and NFL